Christmas, everybody! Welcome to the Christmas Countdown Show, episode number 20, the final episode of season 2 of the Christmas Countdown Show. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy Danny Jordan.
What up?
Chris Sisley coming to us live from Brooklyn. And we have a live studio audience, which is joining us via Zoom, which is amazing, to the Christmas Countdown crew. Hello, what's up? What's up? Thank you for joining us. They're all waving. I love it. Good podcast material. I love it.
I love the two people that are not in frame. It's just empty chairs.
That's cool. You know, people get, it's a busy time of year, Danny. People got to wrap presents. They got to put, fruitcakes in the oven. It's busy.
Fair point.
They may be listening from another room, but we're glad that you're listening. It is this is going to come out, on the 22nd? So that's 3 days till Christmas.
Oh my
but
gosh.
even right now, it's the 20th. So we're only 5 days away. What would you consider it? Is it 4 days away or 5 days away?
Eric, I feel like you and I are going to be debating about this until we're well into our 70s. As to, is it 3 days? Is it 4 days? Is it 73? Is it 72? I mean, I just like to do math. I mean, technically, I guess you could say 4 days and however many hours until midnight on the 25th. Sure. But I just think it's just more simple to think in terms of numbers. Like when I look at my Advent calendar at home, there are 5 baubles left. You know what I mean?
True. Okay.
There's still 5 more doors for everyone to open. So as far as I'm concerned,
but you didn't open a door this morning?
Oh no, we hung our ornament this morning. It's happening.
Ooh.
We don't do doors.
That's fun.
Actually, Eric, that reminds me. I thought about this the other day. Do you remember right when we started this season, one of our fans sent in an Advent calendar to me, and
yeah, the Home Alone one.
I know, and when we were getting ready this morning, I was like, I haven't opened it since we got it.
You should slam through it and open them all right now.
Isn't this the coolest thing ever?
It's pop-up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Wait, are you telling me I should open 20 days worth of Advent on a podcast?
You know what we did with our kids, because we just went on vacation for a week? They got to open their Advent calendars like a little bit ahead of time that was going to cover the week that we were gone. So they kind of did that same sort of thing where they just went flying through a bunch of the days on the Advent calendar, and they loved it.
Dude, I remember that when I was a child, or I guess I wasn't a child. It was when I was probably like in my early 20s. Our Advent at home was really cool. It was like a Christmas tree that sat on this pedestal, and then there were these little drawers on the pedestal that had little ornaments that you hang on the tree, and the tree itself, like you could wind it up and it would go around. But as I got older, what was fun is because the way it was set up for my family was, I have 2 siblings. So you got every third was yours, right?
Oh, that's
so
cool.
you got 1,
I like that. That's fair.
4 and so on. So like if I wasn't living at home, if I didn't come home until like the 14th, baby, I got to hang 4 ornaments. It was pretty legit. It was a strategy. It was a strategic move. That's really why I moved out, is I just wanted to be able to hang more ornaments at one time on my Advent.
A windfall.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
I'm not messing around. But yeah, 5 days till Christmas from right now. 3 days from the moment this episode comes out. It's wild. How are you feeling?
It's exciting. I'm feeling, well, in a little bit of full disclosure, I'm not in the studio today because I just got home from our trip to Chicago and Florida, and I'm feeling a little stuffy nose, a little sore throat. So I'm like, let's be careful and not be in the studio and get Danny sick. So I'm recording via Zoom here, like all of our friends who have joined us. But I'm feeling okay, and I'm feeling very emotionally fulfilled because I have to tell you about my trip to Florida and Chicago to see Lisa's family in Florida, and we went to Disney World. We went to this thing called Mickey's Very Merry Christmas, which is this thing where basically Disney World closes at 6 o'clock, and they kick everybody out, and then there's a party from 6 to midnight that is a limited number of people can come. So all the wait times for pretty much everything in the park was 10 minutes or less for the most part. And they have little snack stations all around the park where you can walk in and they give you a free, cookie and some hot chocolate. They play Christmas music. There's the Christmas parade happens. It was spectacular. And me and my kids and my wife and my in-laws and my brother and sister-in-law and my niece, We had the best time at Disney. It was such a good time. And especially, this is not a Disney podcast, but as we've talked briefly about this, that, there was a little bit of the magic of Disney was getting a little watered down, but this was true Disney magic. So it was great. We had a great time in Florida and seeing family. And then we went to Chicago for my extended family, Danley family Christmas.
Yes.
And it was super exciting to see all my like aunts and uncles and cousins and second cousins twice removed and all these people, which was super fun. And a lot of them listened to the podcast, so that was good. They were referencing little very minute details that they clearly are avid listeners. So hello to anybody from my family.
Oh, that's cool.
Listening. Yes. And it was great. It was, my kids just like had so much fun, and also my kids just like rocked it. They were so well behaved, and they just like were charming to everybody and talked to everybody, and they didn't have any kind of like, I don't know you, I'm gonna be quiet. Like Miles, as you all have seen Miles, he is a ball of spectacular energy. And he just like came into that party and like from moment one was like singing Christmas carols, telling jokes. It was amazing. Oh, one other thing that we did that was really cool, when we were in Florida, we went to Lisa's grandmother's retirement home, and we did a little mini Peterson Christmas family concert for them.
Oh, fun.
So we just we put together like 15 songs with karaoke tracks, and we sang a bunch of Christmas songs for the residents of the retirement home, and Miles did 2 sets of jokes, which was pretty good. It was great. We had such a good time. So I'm happy to be home, because we'll be home here for the actual Christmas day. But it was great to see family and really get filled up emotionally. So yeah.
Sounds incredible. A couple, thoughts about that is, one, I'm a little bummed that I didn't get invited to, perform at the Peterson family party. First and foremost.
Should have come all the way to Chicago. Yeah.
Florida. Are you kidding me? Miss out on an opportunity to, run through O'Hare, which I'm so jealous. You posted, your wife posted the video of you guys running through O'Hare with the music from Home Alone. I was like, oh my gosh, you're living my Christmas dreams right now.
Do you know, wait, I have to tell you something about that. As we were about to film that, we were like thinking like we were about to do it. And there was like a worker from an airport worker that was kind of standing by us. And she was like, all those decorations that are up there are from the movie.
What?
So when they made them for the movie, and then once they filmed it, they gave them to the city of Chicago, and then they put them up every year. But those are the ones from the movie.
Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Cool. Now I want to go there and take one. That's and then bring it back and hang it in our studio for season 3.
That'd be pretty good.
That's my plan.
That would be pretty good.
Well, I'm glad that you got to have that awesome family time. Obviously, as our fans know, and as I know, family is everything to you and to me as well. So I'm sure your heart is very full going in, to this week of Christmas. I'm having a little bit of a different experience from you, Eric.
What's that?
So, we like to be positive here, right? Like we're all about positivity, and I've been trying to put a really positive spin in my mind on something, and I'm really struggling to put a positive spin on it. So we like the big gift that my wife and I are giving to our daughters this Christmas. I ordered it a while ago, and it specifically said it'll be here by December 20th. Like I would not have ordered it had it said anything closer to Christmas. And so yesterday, one day before it's supposed to be delivered, I get an email saying, your item is shipped. It'll be there on December 28th. And I was like,
no.
Are you kidding me? You tell me this the day before. You have locked me in now. Like if you had sent this email to me a week ago, like you didn't just know yesterday that it wasn't going to ship until yesterday. You knew a week ago. Like you could have told me. Sorry, I'm really getting heated right now.
Can you tell us what company is the shipper? If you can figure out that, maybe you can call one of those companies and be like, is there any way to expedite this? Or can you give me a more exact time frame of when this is going to be delivered?
Yeah.
And then you may have more clearer answers.
I think so. Here's how it went down. So, a lot of companies will sell their products not only on their website, but through third-party companies like Amazon, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I ordered this on Amazon. So what I'm guessing it's coming to me from Amazon's fulfillment service, because what I see here in my tracking is it says package arrived at Amazon facility yesterday. And then it departed the Amazon facility yesterday at 7:50 from Lenexa, Kansas. So I looked it up yesterday. I was like, what's the drive time from Lenexa, Kansas to Los Angeles? And it's like, it's just shy of 24 hours. So I was like,
Oh my God.
how do I get a hold of this driver and just say, hey, can I get you to drive through the night?
I thought you were going to say you were going to drive to Kansas and just pick it up yourself.
I mean, don't tempt me with a good time. At this point, I might have to fly out to like Phoenix or, maybe Vegas or something like that. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Like, how do I, because
Here's what I would do.
Right now, I'm putting out the vibes. I'm putting out the vibes that like this date is wrong, and
yes, it's going to happen.
And I'm going to get that knock on the door, like in Christmas Vacation, where it's like I'm looking for Clark W. Griswold. Like I'm going to open the door, and the guy's going to have the box at like 11 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and he's going to save Christmas. But if that doesn't happen, what do I do?
I think you have to have a backup plan.
Okay,
at least in place. And here's what I would say: I would find a similar item.
Okay.
That now I get the idea is that they come out, it's ready to play with, right? I would get a similar item that you would be happy with, whether you go to a Best Buy or a Home Depot or whatever, get the thing, pay for it, make sure there's a good return policy, wait to see if the one that you ordered arrives. If it doesn't, you use the new one that you got. When that one that you ordered arrives, you call and you say, I'm not paying for this. You came after Christmas. And you got to use that voice and shake your fist like that in the air.
Yeah, I'm a little bit frustrated, but I trust that it's going to work out. And Eric, I think your suggestion, actually, my wife and I were already coming up with a contingency plan. Yesterday, we were looking at Target.com, on the app, and it was like there was one within like 100 miles of where we live. And so I think as soon as we wrap today, I will be jumping in my car and driving off to that city.
You're a good dad.
Yeah.
You're a good dad. You're doing it right.
Anyway, other than that though, I will say I'm in a very good mood. And it's the week of Christmas, feeling good. We've got so much to be thankful for. And one of those things that I'm always so thankful for, Eric, is when our listeners reach out to us and they share what our show means to them. And what's been really fun is, in addition to the listener reviews, we've had all these people who are now subscribing to our show on Apple, on Spotify, and we have people who are even subscribing to our Instagram, Eric, which is like incredible to me. That
amazing.
And one of the
it's a new feature, and we already got people.
It's incredible, and one of the reasons is that we have this sweepstakes going on, which I forgot. I'm not allowed to call it a sweepstakes per my folks, an opportunity drawing. As it were, where if you are supporting us on Apple, on Spotify, if you're supporting us on Patreon, if you're subscribing on Instagram, any dollar of support that you are giving us, and we started this back in October and it'll go up through December 23rd. So tomorrow, by end of day tomorrow, any dollar of support that you are giving us, you're going to get an entry into this opportunity drawing for some really cool prizes, right, Eric?
Yes. We have some gift cards to some great places. We have some Christmas Countdown Show merch. And was there a third thing that we
yeah, probably the coolest of all, which is a personalized letter from us.
Personalized letter from Danny and me. Merry Christmas.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so if you're already supporting us, and I would say if you're listening on Apple and you're subscribing on Apple, we can't see your names. They just give us a total number of how many people are subscribing. So if you are a subscriber on Apple and Spotify for that matter, just take a screenshot of your subscription and email it to us, kringle@christmascountdownshow.com. That way we can get you entered. So if you're subscribing, which I think is $4.99 a month, that's 5 entries for every month you've been subscribing. So make sure to send us that screenshot. That way we can get you entered. And
Danny, is it not, if it's $4.99, don't they get 4 entries and then 1 almost entry?
Yes, you're going to get 99% of an entry.
99% of an entry.
Oh my gosh. Which is actually really funny that you bring that up, because we have a review coming up here shortly that sort of is closely related to that way of thinking. So anyway, if you still want to subscribe, you can do that now. Or if you are an existing subscriber, just reach out to us, let us know, so that way we can get your entry in. And with that, I think we should mosey on down to listen.
Some good ones today.
Oh,
folks.
yeah, we do.
Some really good ones. Do you want me to start, Danny? Should I do the 5 golden stars?
Yeah, why don't you start with that one, then I'll
All right.
tee up another one over
Great.
here.
All right, so this is coming from, let's see if I can see who it comes from. K Kane 76 responded on Apple Podcasts, which is nice. And they said 5 golden stars. They even put the little music notes so you know that they meant it to be sung. And they said, "These jolly gentlemen, men of merriment and kings of Christmas, are a simple delight." I need to start this over because this is epic and I want to use a more epic voice. These jolly gentlemen, these men of merriment, and kings of Christmas are a simple delight. So happy to have found this podcast full of Christmas cheer. Every episode fills me with nostalgia of childhood favorites or gives me new Christmas content to enjoy. When the chaotic hustle and bustle of the holiday season has you feeling more like Scrooge, Christmas Countdown is here to give you that childlike Christmas joy. The greatest of dad jokes presented by Buddy the Elf and the biggest Home Alone fan in the world. Celebrity appearances by Christopher Walken. Or if you're lucky, a musical performance by Sia. You just can't beat this content during the Christmas season. That is a great review.
Oh my god!
And thank you for allowing me to use my epic movie trailer voice.
That was
So
incredible. I feel like you have to read every review like that moving forward.
I have a question. This is a total tangent, but that's what we do. So I was watching a commercial for some like new little kids like Hot Wheels toy, and the commercial was like, "And you got to try this, and then the cars break through the water. Look at this, amazing ramps." And I was like, when do you think that like tempo of advertising to young boys started? Like, I think it's probably the 80s, but like, who was the first person to say, "Hey, we're marketing whatever this toy or cereal or game or whatever to young boys is, so we've got to talk like this, and everything is said like this." You know what I mean? It's in every single thing that is marketed to young boys. It's all that same exact like tempo and timbre. And I was like, I wonder when that started, and if whoever started it felt pretty good that now no one can market anything to children that are boys without doing that voice.
It makes me
think on that. Get me an
No, it makes me think of. Do you remember the Micro Machines commercials?
Oh yeah, so good.
Where the guy's like, he's like, if it doesn't say Micro Machines, it's not the real thing. Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
It also
I do.
That voice
I love
makes
that
me think of. Do you remember the game show Nick Arcade?
No.
It was, I forget what the host's name was, but like, he really talked like this all the time. And he was like, and then whenever they would like, so the whole format of it, it was like all around like video games. And then, but it was sort of like Double Dare in the sense that you could go to like a video game challenge and you had to like go over to the arcade and like play a game. And
okay, that sounds vaguely familiar. That sounds
yeah, if you collect 7 coins in 30 seconds or less, you win the points, But every time when they would come back from like the game challenge back to like where they were doing the head-to-head, he'd be like, "We just finished a game challenge. We're going to have more fun today." Like he would always make up a song every single time when they would walk back. And I love that. I love that so much.
That's great.
Anyway, this is the tangential goodness that people love from so much from our show. All right. So that came from K Kane 76, right?
Yes.
Do you think that's supposed to be Candy Cane?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. You have to reach out to us, K Kane 76. Did I tell you, Eric? So we read a review. I think it was on the last episode, and we had to sort of like edit the person's name because it was like not a word.
I did see this.
And the person who wrote that sent us a DM and was like, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't create that name. Like it assigned it to me on Apple." And I was like
randomly generated.
I was like, why is Apple giving people random names like Swagger
vulgar names
B? Like it's so wild.
Yeah.
But I thought that was so funny. All right. So thank you, K Kane. Moving right along. This next one comes to us from Monica Rose Star. We haven't read this one yet, right? That doesn't sound familiar, right?
No.
Well, if it is, they're getting 2. It says, "It's so nice to celebrate Christmas." And Monica Rose Star says, I only recently began listening to any podcast in general. I did a search for Christmas and found this gem. I got up to speed quickly on past episodes. Now I wait anxiously for each new one like a kid at Christmas. LOL. You guys rock. Thank you so much for giving people like me who celebrate Christmas from July on a safe space, or safe place to love Christmas without shame. And that's from Monica Rose Star.
Amen.
Love that.
That's a good one. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Monica.
This is a safe space for Christmas
it's the
lovers
safest of spaces for
around
all
the
Christmas
world.
obsessed people.
Absolutely. All right. Am I reading the one that says "Save the neck for me," Clark?
You better believe it.
Okay, great. All right. This is from CL Hester 1212, also through Apple Podcast, and they gave us 5 golden stars. 5 golden stars.
Yeah.
And they said, the first episode I listened to was Best Christmas Movie Quotes, and I knew instantly I'd found the right podcast for me.
Oh.
You can just tell their love for Christmas and everything this season brings is genuine. The joy this podcast brings me is one of the best gifts I've found this season. Thank you so much for that.
Oh.
CL Hester? Clester? No,
Clester?
probably CL Hester.
Yeah, cool.
CL Clester.
Maybe it's
Clester.
like Charles Lee Hester.
Charles Lee Hester, 1212.
Part of me was hoping that it was going to be D. Hester because I was like, oh, is it Dave Hester who I used to work with on Storage Wars?
Or is it Devin Hester of the Chicago Bears? That would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'd be amazing for you. I don't know if it'd be amazing for me. Anyway, thank you, CL Hester. This next one is a little bit of a lengthy one. This is coming to us from Rabbit Hats. We just got this one a couple days ago, and it's titled "A Holiday Must." And they're gonna set the mood for us here. All right, you ready? They're gonna set the scene. It was Christmas time 2021, and I was looking for something festive to listen to while starting my daily routine. Oddly enough, at least to me, I found a few Christmas-themed podcasts that weren't either one-off episodes of other shows or the fascinating yet brief Christmas Past, which I adore, but Brian's festive morsels only sharpened my holiday appetite. I stumbled upon Christmas Countdown about 70 entries down the results and was happy to observe that the runtime was in the vicinity of an hour and change. So I threw it on with no expectation and found myself quickly wrapped up in the banter. Side note, wife and I just finished watching and enjoying Kevin Can F himself just before this, and I was geeking out in the shower, excited to inform her later that the Patriots-loving schmuck from the brilliant show is, like me, a Yuletide junkie. While that first season didn't have much of the production sizzle that season 2 has, thanks Emilio and Chris, it was clear that the show was a labor of love where 2 good friends could celebrate being Christmas nerds. If people listened, all the better. As each episode went on, it was clear something cool was happening. Cue this November. I'm hopping on a bus ride home, and with the central Illinois weather dipping into the 40s with that patented frozen nostril feeling Eric mentions, I figured I should check on the Countdown show I enjoyed from last year. And it was super cool to hear that they've been sponsored a bit, added a fun producer, and gained a real following among an online community. You guys deserve it. The real meat of this podcast is not the countdowns, despite the name. It's the 45 to 60 plus minutes where Eric and Danny are jumping from subject to subject, anecdote to anecdote, laughing at themselves and each other, but all with the giddy joy of the "did we just become best friends" scene from Step Brothers, or the occasionally candid emotional moments that let us, the listener, into their worlds and hearts, via a medium where the endeavor is often extremely challenging. It's been great to listen to you each recount memories and savor the nostalgia of your own Christmases in the past, sharing the little things that make the holiday what it is. Christmas is not merely decorations and presents. It's a glowing hot coal of emotional stimulus that once each year we strive to embrace, remembering the pure joys of childhood, the voices of people who may now be gone, the scents and songs and sensations that aren't so easily recalled as we grow old. Eric and Danny live that passion to the hilt for a couple months of the year and thankfully set up microphones so we could take part. I'm beyond rambling now, so I'll conclude with this. 1, go Bears.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is the great football Satan of the modern age. And he's only going so hard embracing this Bears owning thing so as to draw attention away from the fact that his legacy will be that of a playoff choke artist and annual disappointment. You're welcome that I read that. 2, I'm going to mail you guys a copy of my book, Cody the Christmas Tree, which I wrote after the death of my grandmother, who was a holiday keystone of our family. I hope you'll enjoy it. Many of your listeners have mentioned how this time of year can accentuate the absences of those so special to us, and that means a great deal to me that you don't shy away from that heartbreaking aspect of being a grown-up at Christmas. Number 3, on your Smells Countdown episode, I was disappointed to hear that neither of you mentioned the scent of Christmas lights. Next year, when you're opening up your light totes, grab a handful of them and bring them right up to your nose. They have a very distinct smell. Instant Christmas for me. Then plug them in and do it again. There's a strange, subtle bit of burning dust or electric hum that gives it another layer. Intoxicating. Anyways, thanks for this wonderful show. Wishing you and yours all the best. Merry Christmas, Christmas Countdown. Andy in Illinois.
Wow, Andy, thank you so much. That is a incredibly thoughtful, thought out, and might I say, very astute review.
Gosh. Ugh. There were parts of it that were questionable for me. Namely that entire paragraph about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. But, we don't need to, go off on a tangent about that one. But Andy, that was such a phenomenal review. When that came through, I was laughing. I got emotional. I got all the feels. So thank you, Andy. Merry Christmas out in Illinois, and go Pack, go.
Go Bears. I actually wonder where in central Illinois he is, because, I went to college in Peoria, Illinois. I went to Bradley University, which is in central Illinois. So maybe he's close.
Who knows?
But thank you, Andy, for that. That's amazing. All right. This next one, Danny, is fun. It's got a great title. It says, is 4.95 stars an option? ? Christmas tree. So they gave us 4 golden stars, but they wanted to give us almost 5 golden stars.
Eric,
they didn't.
Can I say something about this real quick? Yes. I've been struggling with this one since it came in. And here's the reason, okay? 4.95 is so much closer to 5 than it is to 4.
Yeah. Wouldn't we round up?
Like, you could have given us 5 and then said, is 4.95 an option? Anyway, I needed to
dragging us down.
I just need to get it out of me. Yep.
It's from Out Loud Mandy. Out Loud Mandy says, is 4.95 stars an option? And they say, first off, I must agree with Eric that candles are the best Christmas smells. P.S. Bath and Body Works Candle Day sale is always the first weekend in December, but you didn't hear that from me. Good to know. Put that on your calendars. My coworker friend who works at Ross Park Mall in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, Danny, you'd love the smell of our mall this time of year. And I listen to you guys on our long commutes to work. She convinced me to listen to you guys, and all I got to say is wow. From the laughs to the tears, happy tears, you both have definitely put the spirit of Christmas in my heart more than ever this year. Kindness doesn't just stop with each other, but with yourself. And I appreciate Santa, who was on the podcast, touching on that. We always think of others, but sometimes we need to also remember about ourselves this time of year. Your podcast gives me that time to laugh and remember that the spirit of Christmas isn't just in December, but throughout the entire year. Thank you guys and have a Merry Christmas. P.S. I love when you rant off about different subjects, even if it's almost already an hour into the episode. This is true.
But I do have to ask, this person, I want to know what the 0.05 deduction was. I'm thinking about in the gymnastics where you got a 0.1 deduction for, you took a slight step back, when you landed.
They didn't say anything that we should be reduced by 1/5 of a star.
Right.
Come on.
Anyway.
Come on.
But we do appreciate Out Loud Mandy. That was a fantastic review.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're just joshing you.
Yes. And I'm glad to know that our loyal Christmas Countdown crew are on board for these, really long episodes, because this one, our finale episode, is going to be a long one. So buckle up, friends. But I do know we have a guest who's going to be joining us here in a matter of minutes. So let's try to, hustle through the rest. We did get a couple more reviews that have come in. I think people know it's like the end of the season, so they're hustling to get them in right now.
Yeah.
We have one that just came in. This was just a couple days ago. The title of this review was Slay All Day. Sleigh. And this came from Avery07 Soccer. And Avery gave us 2 stars. So let's find out what a 2-star review gets you. I love this podcast so much, and it really helps me to get in the Christmas spirit, and you two together equals amazing. Y'all are very funny, and I love listening. So that's a 2-star review.
At the end?
What?
Okay, that's fair.
Fair enough. Live your truth. If you think we're worth 2 stars, I wonder if people are just taking us a little too seriously about this, like, give us 1 star, sort of thing. And maybe, I don't know. Anyway, thank you.
That's funny.
Thank you, Avery, for that review. And here's the last one that I have here. This one is 5 golden stars. Like, there's lots of A's and all the things. This comes to us from Kim Rex, and Kim says, I was so happy to find this show last Christmas season. As soon as November began this year, I hurried over to my podcasts to listen again. And that's our last listener review. Oh, wait, we do have one more thing to share. Eric,
We do.
do you want to read that message or?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is from somebody named Cher, and they sent us an email. And this was sort of really heartfelt. We wanted to kind of put a little extra highlight on this. And this is what they wrote. It says, Hi, Eric and Danny. My name is Cher, and I wanted to write you guys to let you know how much your podcast means to me and my family. Your podcast was introduced to me by my dad, who found it while looking for something to listen to while he was in the hospital last year during Christmas time. He loved Christmas, and he would always say that even though he was not able to be at home to help us with our Christmas traditions that he loved so much, he was happy with his Christmas podcast. He started downloading episodes for us to listen to together when I would visit him at the hospital. It became our little tradition. Sadly, he passed away a few months ago, and it took me a while to start listening to you guys again because it just did not feel right to listen to his podcast without him. But I recently started listening to you guys again with my kids, and they love it. It has now become a tradition in my home, and I know my dad would be happy that his grandkids are enjoying his podcast. I can't thank you guys enough for bringing some Christmas spirit to my dad and to our family. By the way, Eric, my dad also pronounced onion that way. He picked it up as a kid from watching Louisiana Cajun chef Justin Wilson, onion, that's how he said it, on TV every night with his mom. The nurses at the hospital all heard the story of how he pronounces onion like that famous guy Eric on his favorite podcast. Thank you guys from Papa Joe and his family. And so this one, folks, we're going to dedicate this final episode to Papa Joe and his family. Thank you guys for listening. And anybody who's going through a similar situation, we're here for you. We love you. We're sending you all the good vibes and hugs and good feelings and trying to just lift your spirits as much as we can. So thank you so much for that review. Thank you to Papa Joe and to his family and to Cher for writing that email. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Cher. Merry Christmas, Papa Joe. That one hit. When that email came through, I immediately forwarded it off to Eric and to Chris, and I said, guys, get the tissues ready for this one. That one hit me. I think it hit me in a very specific way. Because a few years ago, I don't think I've ever shared this on the podcast, but my dad, was in the hospital at Christmas, and it was just like, that's hard, and so you feel for those people who are going through a tough time, and I'm sure that there's other people out there, you may be going through a similar situation right now, and we just want you to know that we're sending you love, and it means the world to us that you invite us into those most intimate moments of your lives, and that as you're navigating hard times, whatever that looks like for you, whether it was last year, this year, whatever, that you come to us to put a smile on your face and to lift your spirits through hard times. You reach out to us and you tell us what it means to you that we do this, but it cannot be overstated what it means to us that you entrust us in these most intimate moments of your lives to be there with you. So thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I know Eric's as well, for inviting us into your lives. And as you say, that we're a part of your traditions. That when people say that, Eric, like that statement to me is probably the most meaningful thing anyone could ever say about this show. is that we're a part of your Christmas tradition now. Like, we all know what Christmas traditions mean. You know what Christmas traditions mean to us. And so for us to be like a white Christmas on Christmas Eve to you, or a putting up the tree the day after Thanksgiving, that we're a part of that now, there are no words that can touch what that means. So just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who trust us to be a part of your holiday season. So
Absolutely.
So Eric, we do have a lot of mail that has come in as well. And that's why, warning anyone who's listening right now, this is a long one, so buckle up. But good news, you're off most likely from work for the holiday season, or work is hopefully really quiet for you. So you got some time to fill right now. And, I do want to ask Emilio, our producer, is our first guest here yet, or do we still have a few minutes to start digging into this mailbag here?
We still have a few minutes, it looks like. Her guest has not popped in yet.
Perfect. So let's get started with the mailbag, and then whenever they're here, they'll ring the bell and we'll bring them in.
Yeah.
So I guess this segment's on me today, Eric,
it's all you,
because
buddy.
I'm sitting here in the studio, and I wish you were here, because we got so much stuff that it doesnneed fit in our mailbag. Season 3, we're gonna need a bigger boat from Jaws.
We need like we need a big Santa bag.
We're gonna need a bigger bag. All right, so we'll start. I think we've got a few cards here. So we'll start with the cards. This first one is coming to us from, it looks like this is from Patton, who's out in Kentucky. So I don't know if is that Joshua Patton, I think, who's one of our Patreon supporters, a member of the Christmas Countdown crew. All right. So the card it's a Peanuts card. It says, "Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy." Oh, they sent a picture. Look at this. A picture of their corgi. Look at that.
Oh, cute.
And then a picture of them with the corgi. Look at that.
Love
Isn't
that.
amazing? I love that. A Royal Corgi Christmas. Right there. It's like a Hallmark movie. And so, yeah, this is from Joshua. And guess what? This is amazing. The dog signed the card too, Eric. It's from
nice.
Mr. Wigglesworth. And there's Mr. Wigglesworth's paw print right there.
Tell me this. Does Mr. Wigglesworth have handwriting like an American or like a Canadian?
I think Mr. Wigglesworth has handwriting. You know what's interesting is Mr. Wigglesworth's handwriting is different than Joshua's.
Ooh.
So
maybe the dog.
That's
really
next level. Maybe Mr. Wigglesworth can write. I don't know. But that's really, really cool. And there's Joshua with Mr. Wigglesworth. Let me try that again. Why can't I say Wigglesworth? That's a really hard one for me. Wigglesworth. Maybe I need to say it with an accent. That's what I need to do.
That helps.
There's Josh.
Mr. Wigglesworth.
Mr. Wigglesworth. There he is. I want you know that Josh has given Mr. Wigglesworth a voice for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Josh, your card is going to get added to the collection here along with your photos. Thank you so much for that. And I don't know if you noticed, Eric, but we finally hung the cards up on the wall here in the studio. Do you see that?
Yes, I do see that. It looks great.
Just in time for you to not be here. All right.
Right.
All right, here we go. Here's the next one. This is actually coming to us from Laura Napolitano, a friend of the show, was a member of the Christmas Countdown crew. She wanted to send us a little something extra for the holidays. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a card. Let's do the card first, naturally. It says, "For Danny, Eric, Chris, and Emilio." All right, let's pop this baby.
Emilio, you're a part of this. You're a part of it, Emilio.
It's a chair for Emilio. No, it's. Oh, I wish Emilio was unmuted right now, because I could hear his laugh all the way across the hallway as we're recording here. Oh, that's beautiful. Here, this must be Laura's cat. It says, "Holly and Jolly and Merry and Bright. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal." This is from Laura, Poppy, and Violet. It says, "Merry Christmas, Danny, Eric, Chris, and Emilio. Thanks for bringing so much jingly joy this season. Hope you have a great holidays with your families. P.S. I had a few of these cards made special for the Christmas Countdown crew in our collective appreciation of Home Alone. My cat Poppy is on the front." Oh, that's so great. That's amazing. And huge shout out, honestly, to Victoria, who I know started this, and everyone else in the Christmas Countdown crew for this Christmas card exchange that's been going on. I think that's just one of the coolest things to know that you guys have been mailing cards to each other. And then Laura also sent us, there's a little something. I picked these out for you at Christmas Con. Oh, she got these for us at Christmas Con. Let's see what it is. Oh, and honestly, shout out to Laura, because we were on our call with Hallmark Channel the other day, and they said, "Hey guys, we wanted you to know that some people at Christmas Con were talking about your podcast," which was really, really cool. All right, so it looks like our guest is here. That. So I'm going to just wrap this up real quick. So there's a little something for Danny and a little something for Eric. Here's your ASMR for the day, everybody. This is a crinkling tissue paper. There we go. We've got, oh my gosh, it's Cousin Eddie in his robe for me.
Nice.
To go on my tree.
That's
Isn't that
perfect.
Cool? All right, and oh my gosh, Eric, it's a little ornament of Ralphie in the pink bunny costume.
Oh, I love that.
So that'll go on your tree.
I love that.
To your side, and then
what a great segue. Oh, Danny, what a great segue.
And that really could not have come at a more perfect time to welcome in our first guest.
Yes. Hello, Erinn. How are you?
Hi.
Everybody, welcome to the podcast. My good friend, Erinn Hayes, star of A Christmas Story, Christmas, and many other things, including Children's Hospital, obviously, very well known for that. She was also in Kevin Can Wait. She was also in Kevin Can F Himself. Got to put those next to each other, I think. And we are so excited to have her. I got to work with Erinn when we did Kevin Can F Himself. She was our very, very special guest on our final episode.
It was so much fun.
It was so much fun. And we had actually done a workshop together like 2 years before that. So it was nice to sort of reconnect on set for that.
Right. That was when we were all like, there's this bug going around, you guys.
Something from China.
Something, I don't know. Just, make sure to clean your phone.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Great times back then. So Erinn, we're so excited to have you here on Christmas Countdown Show. Because this is our big finale episode, we're sort of having a live studio audience of our Christmas Countdown crew, who are sort of our Patreon people that are big fans of the show. So they're sort of watching in the Zoom as well, so they can all wave to you and say hello.
Well, hi, everyone.
We're so excited to have you, especially to talk about Christmas Story Christmas, because it is so good. I watched it the other day and I just loved it. It made me feel so warm and so happy to see you being so funny. And I don't know, the way that it ended, I don't want to ruin the ending for people because they need to watch it, but the way that it ended to me felt so great because it reminded me of the original, in that a lot of the story is sort of not silly, but like kind of little vignettes of little moments. But then at the end, the emotional gut punch that it gives you in a good way was so satisfying and so spectacular. So tell me about, how was it shooting the movie? What did you think about it? How was it working with a bunch of the original cast from Christmas Story? Tell us about your experience on it.
Well, first of all, I'm so glad that you loved it, and that like everything that you said about it is exactly how I feel about this movie. When I read the script, like the ending is an emotional gut punch, but it also is so satisfying, and it really
totally
brings it all full circle. And so when I first read the script, like a lot of people, I was a huge fan. I am a huge fan of the original. It's a very important part of my upbringing and my family's Christmas tradition. There's always somebody asleep on the couch, and there's always somebody watching A Christmas Story, and then you swap, and so it was like, oh God, is it good? I knew that the audition material was good, but then when I got to read the whole script, I was like, oh, like teared up a little in certain places. I was like, it's very satisfying as a fan. And I loved the fact that Sandy, Ralphie's wife, which is who I play, grown-up Ralphie's wife, was kind of a fleshed out human being. And it reminded me very much of those, like the moms in those 70s and 80s, like E.T. mom, and like every mom that Terry Garr played, and like, totally. And even very much in the vein of Melinda Dillon's character in the original Christmas Story, which is like committed to family, but like gentle, fun, supportive person who
Yeah.
also is a human being. So that part made me very happy. And I truly love this movie. I don't, being an actor, you don't
Sure.
100% support everything you do.
Yes, that
I
is very true.
100% support this movie. I saw it and was like, oh, phew.
That was great.
Just love it. And it was
Yeah.
such a fun thing to do because all of us were in obviously Bulgaria shooting this movie, clearly.
Yeah.
And so it was like we hung out forever. We had 3 weeks of rehearsal before we even started
Wow.
shooting, which is so
Unheard
weird.
of. Yeah.
It's unheard of. So that when we walked onto that set to shoot the first thing, I felt like a little family. Like I felt,
Yeah.
I'd been to dinner and day trips with the kids, and I felt like I could, pull one of them onto my lap or fix somebody's
Yeah.
hair, or just with Peter have that rapport of like, oh yes, we're a married couple. So it was just really lovely, and so I'm so happy that it turned out in a way that was satisfying as an actor and as a viewer of my own projects.
Yes. Now tell me this. Did you film any or all of it in Cleveland at the Christmas Story house? Or did they recreate the whole thing?
They built that whole block, ground.
Wow.
Everything you see on the exterior, us driving up, all 11 homes, they built from the ground up so that it would look, because the house on Cleveland Street, the original house, the houses around it don't look like that anymore.
That's
they look
right.
like
Yeah.
they've been redone. Also, it's
Modern,
a museum.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not going to look like a family lived there maybe, they did such a good job. And that's kind of why we shot there, because you can't, when there's not the space here to do it and not the budget to do it.
Yes, totally. Now tell me, how was it being a new cast member to a lot of the cast were people from the original film? So what was that like stepping into that? Did they accept you with open arms? Did you, what was that feeling like working with everybody who had there, because there were so many people from the original in this one?
Yeah, it's all the original kids.
Yeah.
It was an extensive hazing process. What if I was like, they made me stand outside with my tongue to a flagpole for 7 hours. Froze my jingle bells off. No, they're great. They're all so nice. I mean, mostly I just worked with Peter. And if you see in the movie, I don't go to the bars, I don't interact with Flick and Schwartz, and I don't interact with Scott Farkas. But just but I did there was a couple things that I watched them shoot, and it was it's so satisfying. They integrate all of those characters in such a great. That's not true. I have scenes with Randy. I have scenes with Randy.
Yeah.
Which was so great to watch them interact, and to think my kids are 13 and 15. These guys were younger than my children when they all made this movie and had this experience. And they have this instant, they're still friends. They still chat. I don't think they talk all the time, but they were right back in it, and had the kind of same dynamic that they had in the original movie. So it was really fun to observe, and just to see a group of people who were so excited and happy to be there. It's nice.
Totally.
We have a fun job, and
yes,
most people enjoy it, but then there's some Scrooges who are like, this day is too long, I don't like craft service. But there was nobody like that on this set. Everybody was just so happy to be there.
I love so great. Eric, I have to say that this feels like a very full circle moment for our show, because season 1, Scott Schwartz was the first guest we ever had on Christmas Countdown. And he came on our show and shared some really great stories of what it was like working on the original. And it was so cool to see that when they announced that, this film was going to be made, that they were bringing back all of these original cast members. And I think, because they've stayed connected, at various collector shows and all this sort of stuff over the years, you could feel watching the film the relationship that these guys have, that they have stayed connected, even after all these years. And it's such a wild story of how Christmas Story became what it is today. And I got to say, from my perspective, I think this version is better than the original. Like
Ooh.
I loved this. You know, I know Eric's favorite, one of his favorites is the original of all time. But I went into it and I was like, well, we'll see. Because like the original wasn't necessarily one of my favorite Christmas movies. So I was like, will I like the sequel? But I absolutely loved the sequel. I thought it was so heartwarming. I love the way your character is so supportive of Ralphie and his dreams. I just think that's such a powerful statement to make, to see like women who are so supportive of their partners and their spouses and encouraging them to chase their dreams. You know, and I connected to it because, you know, I'm a children's book writer, so like to see the way that your character was encouraging Ralphie. You know, my wife has been very similar to me, you know, as I've navigated my road as an author. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it's an instant classic for sure. And I think it's going to be watched for many, many years to come.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have one more question for you, Erinn.
Yeah.
No, two more questions. One and two.
What's your
number
social security number and
and
what's your first pet's name?
Yes.
Really quick.
So the first thing is I want you to talk about doing some of the, I don't know, did you guys refer to them as like flashback scenes, as fantasy scenes? Like what term did you guys use for the many sort of times that it's like, but my favorite one is the, oh, glory be not Black Bart and his gang. That I loved that so much.
We call them fantasy sequences.
Sure.
And they were the most fun because you get to like, it's that total departure from reality, which is like, oh, I don't have to think, what would my character think? And like, you're just a version of yourself in Ralphie's mind. And that spaghetti Western.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. It's so brilliant. The fact that they didn't like paint out the wire that pulls the tumbleweed across the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. And like they did dub it, but we tried to get the little girl to say, we're as good as coyote food. But it was like, so, you know, she's sick. She was like, coyote food. Like it was, it didn't make any sense. But you could just be like the ham that we have inside of us that that I have to fight all the time. To be like, no, now let's just, well, that was great. Now just
more natural.
More natural. This one was like, oh no, lean in.
Yes.
So those were all so fun. And the one in the jail, where we're just like, and all of a sudden the sun is British and we're all in this weird noir. They were a blast. Really fun. Could be big and over the top.
I love that. All right, one last question for you, because this is a Christmas podcast. Can you just talk to us about what you love about Christmas, or favorite Christmas memory, or what Christmas means to you, or why do you think it's an important time of the year? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, I'm a huge Christmas fan. I mean, we start listening in LA. It's Coast 103.5 starts playing Christmas music, you know, mid-November, and we are like, yes. My kids are so big on tradition. It's just like, I'm putting the fire on every night and reading a book. I'm listening to Christmas music. We go make cocoa and drive and see the lights up in Sierra Madre, and we do all of everything. I truly, it is like the warmest, coziest season of the year, and it makes me happy. It makes my kids happy. Everybody is like, you know, nicer and snugglier. And we try to, you know, if homework's done, we watch a Christmas movie every single night. We, you know, I mean, there's a lot of homework, so it hasn't been as much this year. But you know, we save the big ones for the end. But it's truly the best time of year.
I love it. Erinn, thank you so much. And how exciting that you will be a part of many people's Christmases to come.
I know. Yeah. So, and the good news is that now it's, if you don't have HBO Max, which is where it's streaming, I think it's now for purchase on Apple.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
Access the
Check
movie.
it out there.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for having me.
Erinn, you're the best. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas,
Erinn.
All right.
Happy
I'll talk to you
holidays,
soon. Bye. Thanks.
Well, that was fun.
Great. That was awesome.
What does the audience think of our first surprise guest? Was that cool to get to see Erinn? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of these people have watched that film, so that's so cool, and that really feels like like I know I said it in the interview, but it feels so full circle. So early
Because
in
Scott Schwartz was our first guest, wasn't he?
first guest ever on this show, and look at us now. Pretty darn cool. Thanks for coordinating that, Eric. That was so cool
Of
to
course.
get to chat with Erinn. You and I never really had the chance to talk about A Christmas Story Christmas on the podcast, and I absolutely loved the film. As I shared, it's not necessarily the original is not necessarily my favorite like it is yours. So I didn't know. And Lynn and I were sitting there watching the movie, and we were like, this is such a great movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's heartwarming. The end will just like,
The ending is so good.
I was a mess.
Yeah.
I was like, tears.
I mean, and it's really the whole last 15 minutes of the film are so good and so heartwarming. I don't want to give anything away because people got to watch it. And it's better if you are sort of surprised by oh, it's great. It's just so good. I can't recommend the film highly enough. It's just spectacular. And thank you to Erinn for coming to chat with us. So very cool. Very cool.
Well, we were
back to the mailbag.
Let's get back to the mailbag. So our last piece of mail came to us from Laura Napolitano. Napolitano. Next up, we've got.
Before you give that, I saw I was going to put this in memes and things, but I'm going to put it right here. There's this great thing that I saw that is a. Speaking of Laura Napolitano, it is a hand that's sort of in this, the pinky or the thumb in the sort of classic Italian way of talking, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little tiny hand that's in that shape, and then it's on a rocking horse, half circle on the bottom. So you rock it, and it goes on your desk, and it just goes like this.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing!
I was like, that's pretty good. I might have to get that for my wife because she's Italian.
I'll get it for mine too. We both have Italian wives, so it's very fitting. All right, so this next item is coming to us. Every time I say next item, I feel like I'm like the announcer on Price is Right.
Price is Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Next item up for bid.
Next item for bid.
Do I have scissors here? Let's see. There they are. Okay. So this is coming to us from, this is from Jessica, who's here watching today. And Jessica actually lives in Brooklyn, which is where producer Chris lives.
Yay.
Yeah. It'd be really funny if they lived next door to each other and just didn't know it.
If you're my neighbor downstairs, and I'm sorry because that guy hates me.
Okay, so this is from Jessica and Ronald out in Brooklyn, and there's a card attached to it that says "Merry Christmas" and that patented Eric tone. All right, here we go. Let's crack her open here. Beautiful card. It's got some little holiday. There's a lot of writing in here. Get ready. It's got some little holiday fur on it.
Jessica was like, ooh, sorry.
No, we love long cards. You kidding me? So this says, Danny and Eric, thank you for the ever-growing, massively merry Christmas cheer. I first found you at the start of last season when I was half-jokingly searching for a Christmas podcast when it was too early for anyone to talk to me about Christmas. It's been so incredible to watch the community grow, and being a part of the Patreon crew is extra special. Thank you also for the congratulations shout-out in the 1128 episode. You are both too kind, and hearing your own Christmas engagement stories brought me so much warmth. I almost don't believe that you don't already have these ornaments on your trees, but they're too perfect not to be, so I'm sending them anyways. Wishing you a peaceful holiday, and then it says, what a model of... Oh, hold on. I read the wish in the card in the middle of her message.
Gotcha.
Sorry. I'm sending them anyways. What a model of the turtle doves you two are. Thanks for creating this flock of turtle doves across the globe. Merry Christmas, Jessica Pearson. Oh, I love that. A flock of turtle doves.
That's so sweet.
I love that. We are the turtle doves of Christmas podcasts, I think, is what they say.
That's right.
I don't know if people can see, but Eric and I left the studio kind of in disarray after our last episode. Yeah, there's just wrapping paper everywhere because we looked around after the last episode and we're like, this feels like Christmas morning. All right. Oh, this is great. Eric, it's two turtle doves.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what this
well done.
You know what this immediately makes me think of, right?
Home Alone 2.
Home Alone 2. And the shop owner goes, turtle doves.
Turtle doves. He's got that actor had the greatest voice.
He did.
talked like this. Everything was sort of like, well, you want 2 turtle doves? Okay, let's see if I can find it.
Oh, so good.
But then remember, Kevin writes that note to him and he goes, "Thanks for the turtle doves," and he goes, "Turtle doves," like at the end of the film. It's so good. And then he gives it to the pigeon lady, which is kind of funny that he gives the pigeon lady a dove. Isn't that kind of funny?
That is true. I never put that together.
I didn't
Bird to
put it
bird.
together till this moment.
There you go.
And we all remember who played the pigeon lady, right?
Yeah. What's her face from America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent?
Yes. I was hoping you'd
What was her
remember.
name?
What's Susan?
What was her
Susan
name?
Boyle. Susan Boyle.
Susan Boyle. Susan Boyle plays the bird. lady.
Anyway,
She doesn't really, but if you go back to season 1, I'm pretty convinced that it's Susan Boyle.
It might be. But I really like what it says on this box. It says, "Doves of friendship. You will be friends forever as long as each of you have your turtle dove."
Oh, I love that.
So that's
Thank
really,
you,
really
Jessica.
sweet.
That is so kind of you.
Thank you,
Merry
Jessica.
Christmas. Thank you.
All right. I'm trying to hustle this along here because I know we have so much to get to. We have another guest who's going to be joining us. All right. I'm going to put this card. We are out of space here.
You can put them on my chair.
I'm just going to throw all the trash over there. All right. So this one is coming to us from Idaho. All right. Here we go. This says to Danny and Eric, or Eric and Danny, whichever you prefer. That's what it says on the front.
Equitable. I like that.
That's so great. Maybe that's how we should list our show. Hosted by Eric and Danny or Danny and Eric, whichever you prefer. All right. This is coming to us from Jen. And Jen says, "Merry Christmas to my 2 favorite guys I'm not related to." Actually, I could have put, let me say that again. "Merry Christmas to my 2 favorite guys I'm not related to. Y'all make Christmas even better if that's even possible. Just the sound of your voices puts a smile on my face. This has been a weird year, lots of changes, but I can always count on you two to brighten my days. Keep on jingling. Love you forever, Jen."
Thank you, Jen. That's so sweet.
Love you forever. That
love
makes
it.
me
There's Jen.
think of if Jen signed my yearbook in high school.
Yeah. Have a good summer. And
KIT.
yeah, that's how we should wait for real. I just thought of this. We should do, instead of KIT, HAS. People used to write keep in touch, have a good summer,
Yeah.
or HAGS. We should do have a good Christmas off season. You sign your cards listen, it was good Christmas. I'll see you next Christmas. Make sure you keep in touch.
So,
You know what I mean?
So we sign him Hagco at the end.
Hagco.
Hagco.
It rolls off the tongue.
That should have
Hagco.
been our corporation name. Hagco Incorporated.
Yes.
That's really
Perfect.
funny. Okay. All right. So putting this card, we're just gonna keep at. I'm gonna put it on my side table. This one's going on my side table. All right.
Good idea.
All right. Here we go. There's a little box with a little snowman on it. It's labeled as a gift card holder. So let's see what's inside. Oh my gosh, Eric. I'm gonna show you yours first. It's a cow ornament.
Yeah.
Look at that. Isn't that cool?
I love it.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
that's so good.
Oh, and
I
then
love that.
And then I got, I guess it looks like a little dog peeking out of a little Christmas box, but it looks like it was hand. I don't think we ever solved what we want to call this. If it's crocheting or stitching or
Sure. Yeah.
whatever,
Cross
knitting.
stitch. Yeah.
But this is so cute, and they look so vintage.
Cross stitch.
Cross
Jen says
stitch.
cross stitch.
That's cross stitch. Okay. Wait, is that Jen? Oh, that's Jen from Idaho.
Yeah. Jen's right.
Jen! Oh my gosh. Thank you, Jen. Cross stitch. Thank you for the cross stitch puppy and Eric. It feels like it's made out of a clothespin or something, like a painted clothespin.
Oh,
it has a
fun. I
cow
love
on it.
that.
So I'll put that on your chair for when you come back
Thank
after
you.
Christmas.
Thank you.
All right. So that got us through the actual bag proper. Now we are going to move on to, let's see. We've got, this box is packed to the gills. So I'm going to save this one for last. And we're going to go to this one, which we just got the other day from one of our fans who's from here in Southern California, actually. All right, here we go. This is from Creature Kids is who this is from here in Southern California.
Big box.
Big box. Yeah. Eric, I went to the post office this morning because I knew that Laura had sent us something. And then inside the box was 2 pink slips. And I looked at the line to go pick it up and I was like, oh gosh, I got to wait in the dreaded line right now. But I was like, we got to get these boxes. We got to get them for the people. And fortunately, they had like one of those people who's like, anyone here just picking up mail? And I was like, that would be me. So here we go. This one's from Adam. And Adam says, to the fabulously festive, massively merry, gigantically jolly, and jingly jangliest guys this side of the North Pole. I hope your little creature kids like the books. So it looks like we got some books here from Adam. Adam is a children's author as well. And Adam wrote this book, which is called There's No Such Thing as Monsters. And Adam sent us each copies of the book.
For our kids.
Isn't that
That's
cool? I think
great.
there's some stickers inside. Oh, they're signed too. Oh, amazing.
Sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Priceless.
Amazing. Thank
Truly
you so much,
priceless.
Adam. Oh, this is so kind.
Thank
Amazing.
you, Adam. That's awesome. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Yeah, so check out The Creature Kids, which is Adam's book series. I think he's got plans to do a bunch of books. So that's really, really cool. All right, so this next box is packed to the gills from one of our super fans. This is coming to us from Chandis, or Chandise, or Chandiche, as we like to call her. All right, this, Eric, I'm just going to, can you see from the side how much stuff is in this box?
I can see it looks very full.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm tempted to just dump it all out. But I don't want to do that.
What if
so
it's breakable?
first and foremost, we've got some candy canes,
Okay.
courtesy of Sia.
Wait, you got to sing it. You brought it up. You got to.
Candy cane lay with me. There you go. You're welcome. I don't think I've done that yet this year, have I?
I know. I needed it. You know what's so crazy though, Danny, is
What?
that I went to a thing called Zoo Lights in Chicago at Lincoln Park Zoo, where they light up all the zoo and everything.
Yeah.
And they were playing Candy Cane Lane, and all I could think about was you.
Yes.
You have stepped into the ring of that song. It will always be connected to you.
That's all I want to come out of this podcast, is that whenever people hear Sia sing, they think of me. That's my primary objective here. All right, so I'm going to pull out this first batch of stuff. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is an ornament. Oh my gosh. It's like custom made, Eric. Look, it says
Whoa.
2022, and it says there's two snowmen on it. One says Danny on its hat. The other says Eric. And then it says Christmas Countdown underneath.
Wow.
Isn't that cute?
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I'm just going to make a mess of this studio. Okay, so I'm putting this ornament there, and then we got some more ornaments here. We've got, oh, this is cool. It's like a bunch of little animals. We've got like a doe,
Ornaments?
a deer, a female deer,
Nice.
a raccoon, and this looks like maybe a little squirrel or a little fox possibly here.
Cool.
Pretty darn cool. Thank you, Chandis, for those. I think we're going to have to stop mid-open, and so we'll come back to Chandis's box here in a second. Our second guest is here.
Ooh. Another guest.
I'm very excited for this one. If you are a super fan of the show, you're really going to appreciate this guest. You know, if you're familiar with us, you know from season 1 that when we talk about things on this show, we like to try to find a way to get those people to somehow be a part of the Christmas Countdown experience. So this is a perfect example of that. I don't know if you guys remember recently, Eric and I were chatting about Darlene Love and her new song that she recorded, My Grown Up Christmas List, and she duetted with none other than our next guest. Please welcome to Christmas Countdown Show, Chris Ruggiero.
Hey guys,
What's up, Chris?
how are you? Merry Christmas. I love
Merry
that.
Christmas.
Merry
Thank
Christmas
you
to
very
you,
much.
Chris. Oh my God, I love Chris's background. Do you see like all those like
Yeah.
holiday records he's got behind him there?
I
That's
see it.
incredible.
I see some Andy Williams. It's good.
Yes, Andy Williams. We have the Phil Spector Christmas album back there somewhere, and the wall is just full of all the best Christmas stuff.
I love that.
First and foremost, Chris, I want to say, congratulations on all of your success, as a singer, as a recording artist, and how cool that you got to work with Darlene Love. I mean, walk us through, I'm sure heard our show, and I know you saw the video that we posted of
I
us,
did.
talking about you and Darlene. Walk us through what's going on in your mind as you go to lunch with Darlene Love at the Palm in New York City, and you're thinking, I'm going to meet with Darlene. What's going through your mind? Did you expect there to be a duet to come out of this? What's going through Chris's mind in that moment?
Well, I got to tell you, so before this lunch at the Palm, I had never met Darlene before. And of course, I always wanted to because I grew up listening to all her songs. And so I was scared because I didn't know if she was going to be really nice or not. You just never know.
Sure.
Right.
And so she walked through the door. I was sitting at the table. So Darlene walks through the door with her husband Alton, and she comes over, and right away she gives me a big hug and a kiss. So that was like a relief right there, just to get a hug, And we sat down. We sat at the table for 3 hours at lunch, and she told us so many of the stories from back in the day, so many great stories. And I had no idea that we were doing a duet yet. Neither of us did, because Darlene asked me towards the end of our lunch. She said, "Well, what are you working on? What do you got going on?" I said, "Well, I actually have a Christmas album coming out, and we're still not finished with it. But there's this one song in particular that I don't know what to do with." And she said, "Well, what's the name of the song?" I said, "Well, it's called Grown Up Christmas List." And she said, I never heard of that song. Send it to me, and I'll listen to it when I go home." So that was it. We left lunch. We kissed each other goodbye. She went home, and she listened to Grown Up Christmas List, and she called back a few days later, and she said, this is a really nice song. I think we should record it together. We should do a duet." And I almost passed out.
That's incredible. I mean, because Darlene hadn't released an album in about or a song, I think, in about 30 years at that point in time. Is that right?
Yeah, about 30. Yeah, about 30 years. Her last duet was with Luther Vandross. So I'm honored that I'm second.
Yeah.
I was going to say to be the one that Darlene makes that choice, 30 years later to get back in the studio and record with, to be with a legend like that. What is that experience like, being in the studio around that sort of energy? Because those legends who have, contributed to music, TV, film, they exude this energy about them, this air about them.
Presence,
What was it like working with Darlene?
Darlene is a real pleasure to work with. She's so smiley and happy, and it was an honor to work with her in the studio. And not only that, but I got to tell you, by the end of singing with her for 3 hours, because we sang side by side in the studio to record this song.
Wow!
Actually, in the same studio, she recorded "All Alone on Christmas."
What?
For Home Alone.
Oh, cool!
So it was in the same studio in New York City, a power station. So we were there together for 3 hours in the studio, singing back and forth. And by the time I left the studio that day, I absolutely was a better singer, because Darlene's like a force of nature. I mean, how could you not? You got to rise to the occasion when you're with her.
Incredible. Now, have you always been like a huge Christmas fan? Like, is Christmas a big part of your life?
It is a huge part of my life. When I was little, I always wanted to be Santa Claus because because for me, I saw how happy everyone was when they saw Santa.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, I grew up in New York in a big Italian family, and we had Christmas Eve at my grandma's house every year with 50 of my cousins and aunts and uncles. And every year Santa would come and bring the kids presents. And at the time I was a little kid, and just the joy that brought, I always wanted to be Santa and then bring that joy back to people. So I guess that's also why I'm a singer as well, because the singing makes people happy, and it all ties itself in there. But I've always been a huge Christmas fan, and actually today I'm baking cookies for Christmas. That's what I was doing this morning.
Oh, amazing.
I have a question for you, Chris. So Danny and I are both huge fans of Frank and Dino and Sammy and all of that sort of classic crooners, the Rat Pack, the Great American Songbook. Is there a favorite, or one or two of your favorite Christmas songs to listen to from that era that you are like, oh, that's just a perfect recording?
Oh, well, I love to listen to Andy Williams. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Oh, great one.
And that's why I put it on my album. And then, of course, Darlene's Christmas Baby, Please Come Home. I mean, that's an awesome song.
One.
But if you're talking about the male crooners, I actually am a big fan of Jerry Vale. He's my favorite singer of all time. I don't know if you know Jerry Vale, but he's my favorite singer. His rendition of Silver Bells is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Eric and I have been talking about, we do countdowns on the show, Christmas themed countdowns. And we're thinking for season 3, we're going to want to do a theme of like top, male voices at Christmas, top, female voices at Christmas. And I think we're going to hear a lot of those names are going to be popping up on the list for sure. So Chris, you're from New York. What's your favorite, or maybe like top 3 things to do in New York City at the holidays?
All around the holidays, every year. By the way, I live in Florida now. I recently moved a year ago,
Oh, wow.
but
Okay.
I grew up in New York. So every year for New York, we would go to the city to see the tree.
Yep.
We would go and see the Rockettes, the Christmas show. My grandmother would take my brother, myself, and my mom, and we would always go and eat at some Italian restaurant afterwards. Those were the 3 things we did every year. And of course, we used to go to FAO Schwartz for all the toy shopping and stuff. It was so many great things about New York during Christmas time. There's still magic in the air there.
Couldn't agree more. One last thing, before we let you jump here, Chris, I was curious when you saw the video that we did pop up and we referenced Rufio from Hook. I'm just curious, I guess the question should start with, did we pronounce your last name right? How do you pronounce your last name?
You did it, and then you did right, and then you undid it right. I mean, I got to tell you, I was on the floor. When I saw that video, I was on the floor. Because the chant that you guys did, I was on the floor laughing. It's the correct way to pronounce it is Ruggiero.
Ruggiero. Okay.
Ruggiero.
So we weren't too far off with Ruggiero.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were close, but I gotta say, you guys made my day. That was so funny.
Oh, I love. We embrace the silliness over here at Christmas Countdown. We're very tangential. We're very silly. But Chris, we're so thrilled for you. Where can people get your album? Spotify, Apple. Where are you trying to direct people to get your Christmas album?
Yeah, if you have a CD player, you can find it on my website. If you don't have a CD player, because we're in 2022, you can go on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, anywhere that you could possibly stream it. My Christmas album is on there, and it's called Christmas with Chris Ruggiero.
Amazing. Chris, this has been such a blast. Thanks for coming on. We're so grateful that we got to connect with you and wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday.
So am I. Merry Christmas to you both.
Thanks, buddy. Merry Christmas.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Oh my gosh, Eric. What a blast. We got to chat with Ruggiero himself.
Ruggiero! That was great. He was sweet.
Yeah.
What a sweet guy. You can tell that he loves Christmas, that he loved the experience of singing with Darlene Love, and they made a great song. And that he seems like a good kid who's on his way to big things. So very cool to talk with him.
And you know what this means? We are officially 1 degree of separation from Darlene Love.
This is true. We're getting close.
We're gonna, season 3, Darlene. She'll be sitting here in the studio with us. That's the goal for season 3. But thank you to Chris Ruggiero for joining us on Christmas Countdown. That was really, really cool. I think we pinged him like 2 days ago, and immediately his team was like, yes, he's going to be there. And it just, we're so grateful that he took the time. So thank you, Chris.
Love that.
Before we went to Chris, we were still in the middle of the mailbag. This is fun,
yes.
Eric. Like, you and I were texting the other day that we wanted to create this feeling of like a Christmas special where like you never know who's going to pop in and be a part of the party, right?
Yeah. I like that.
I think we're
accomplishing that. Yeah.
All right. So let's get to, and I just realized I totally forgot to read the card from Chandis.
Oh, you got to read the card.
Sorry, Chandis. I'm breaking Christmas law. So this says Danny and Eric and Chris. All right. Let's pop it open here. Oh, that's amazing. It's their family Christmas card.
Look
at that. There's Chandis with her family, her lovely family, and there's a message on the back. The message says, Merry Christmas. In our family, we have a tradition that we read a book each night and put the matching ornament on the tree. So I'm helping you guys kick off this tradition, if you'd like, with 2 of my favorite books and a matching ornament. We hope you guys love this as much as we do. Thank you for the time and energy that goes into the Christmas Countdown podcast. You are truly giving the world and me more joy. May you all have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. P.S. All the cookies are gluten-free. This is from Chandis and fam. That would be Josh, Chandis, Jackson, Madden, Lucy, Vin, and Rush, who's turning 3 on Christmas Eve. So huge shout out to Chandis.
Her kids' names are very cool.
Jackson.
I
like that.
Rush.
That's like Rush.
Cool name.
I know.
Rush.
That's really cool. Great names. And Vin, like Vin Scully. Love that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. There are books in here. So I think there's going to be a copy. Oh, and this ties back to the ornaments. Okay. So we have a copy of the book, Why Christmas Trees Aren't Perfect. here.
Okay.
So I haven't read
I'm
that
excited
one.
to read that.
Yeah, I'll take
Is
that
it like a
home.
novel? or-
Yes, it's 500 pages. No, it's no, it's probably it's just really well produced. So it looks thicker than it is. Like here it is sideways. So you can see it's probably about 25, 30 pages.
All right.
Why Christmas Trees Aren't Perfect by Elizabeth J. Miles. All right. We also have in this box of goodies, The Sweet Smell of Christmas. It's a scratch and sniff story.
Ooh,
That's cool.
fun.
This is by Patricia Scary, illustrated by J.P. Miller. So we'll be checking. Hold on. Oh my God. It really smells. Hold on.
I'm excited.
Hold on. ASMR. Oh, wow. That does smell. It smells
What
a
does
little
it
bit.
smell like?
If I'm being honest, it smells like a pickle. If I'm being honest.
A good pickle?
I mean, I don't know if I've ever had a bad pickle.
This is true.
Sweet dill, sweet bread and butter. I don't discriminate. I love all pickles. And maybe by season 7, we'll do our top 10 favorite pickles of all time.
When we're really looking for content.
Oh my gosh. So that's the other gift from Candace. And then we've also got, there's another thing down in here, Eric. The gifts just keep coming. Oh.
Jen has the same book. Jen just held up the same book, The Sweet Smells of Christmas.
Wait, Christmas Countdown crew member Jen, she does. Look at that. That's amazing. I love it. All right. So Candace also sent us a box of cookies.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
don't eat them all. Save some for me.
You know what this is?
What is it?
Very sweet.
Oh, that is very sweet.
Ding, jingle, jingle. Thank you.
Ding. Jingle, jingle.
And oh my gosh, it's not just cookies, Eric. There's like, oh my gosh, there's like toffee or butterscotch in here. There's these little white powdery things that I'm guessing is like shortbread, maybe with some powder on the outside. It all looks so good and smells so good and delicious. So a huge thank you to Candace for that. We are so appreciative for that gift. So we have one more item. This one I'm very excited about. It just arrived the other day. And this, Eric, I wish you were here to see this in person because I know what this is. I see the return address on it. So I'm going to make a little room on my little side table here so I can pull all these goodies out because I know what is lurking behind.
There's some good stuff in here.
This cardboard flap in front of me. All right, moving that card over there. I'm at the point of Christmas where I'm just throwing things everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so
When you just don't care anymore.
yeah, Eric, when you get back into studio next week for our post-Christmas wrap-up episode, you're going to want to hit this up. So our friends at Zippo reached out to us, and they wanted to share some goodies with us this holiday season. I don't know if you know, but Zippo, who's famous for that iconic
The
lighter, that that sound, like, I mean, hello, you want to talk about iconic sounds, which we just chatted about on the podcast. There are very few things more iconic than the sound of like flink, like of the Zippo lighter, right? So Zippo recently released a rechargeable candle lighter.
Ooh.
And
Tell
Eric,
me more.
I can't wait. I'm actually not only going to tell you more, I'm going to open this baby up and I'm going to show you more. And I'm going to let you listen to this sweet, sweet sound. So what's really cool about this candle lighter, I don't know if you've seen, Eric, but like there's a lot of new lighters out on the market now that they're not like a flame. It sort of looks like
a spark,
like a
an
lightning
electrical
bolt?
spark.
Yeah, it looks like a
like an
lightning
electrical
bolt.
spark kind of thing. Yeah.
You ready? This is just like it. And it's got this flexible head on it, which is really, really cool. And, it's got, the iconic, engineering and manufacturing of Zippo, which is, one of the most iconic brands here in the U.S.
Sure.
But this one specifically is in candy apple red, which if you're looking for a lighter for the holiday season, my friends,
Love that.
this is the one. So
And it's rechargeable, right? Can you plug it in like to a USB?
Yeah, it even comes with like the little adapter here that you just plug it into the wall, and then it's up to 50 arcs per charge, which is pretty cool. And it's metal as well, so it's not going to break. So listen to this. This is the sound it makes. Do you hear that? Look at this. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can. It's awesome.
Isn't that like the coolest thing?
I
Now-
love that. And then and there's less chance of burning your fingers.
Exactly.
I burn my fingers a lot when I'm lighting Christmas candles.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it with this. So what's really cool, Eric, they sent one for me and you got one too.
One for me too. All right.
So I'm going to throw that on your chair over there. So when you get back, that'll be waiting for you. But not only did they send us the rechargeable candle lighter, Zippo is now making candles, Eric.
Ooh.
And so they
I
sent us
saw this.
They sent us a
I
bunch
saw
of
this.
candles.
It looked really cool.
And so they sent us a bunch of different scents. This first one is whiskey and tobacco.
Ooh, I want that one.
Okay, I'm going to put that one over here on your pile of goodies. And then they sent us, let's open this next one. Ooh, bourbon and spice.
I want that one too.
Well, I was going to give that one to me. And then they also sent us dark rum and oak.
Ooh, I want that one.
Yeah, I think you want all of them. Well, let's see what the last one is. Let's see. The last one is whiskey and tobacco. So I'll take whiskey and tobacco, and then you get dark rum and oak. So and these containers that these things come in are so cool. Do you see like this little burnt cork?
Yeah, like the cork thing. That's a great look.
Great, really, really cool. So I'm actually going to light a couple of these here in the studio because I want to test out. I've seen these like rechargeable lighters like at birthday parties when people are like lighting candles, but I never had a chance to do one on my own. So this is like a first time ever experience for me here. Here we go. Oh my gosh. That happened so quickly, Eric.
I love it.
Do you know when you're like trying to like, you've got a new wax candle and you're like, or you even light it and the flame, you still have to like hold it there for a good 4 seconds to get it to melt the wax. That immediately lit the wick in this candle.
What kind of wicks do these candles have? Is it the single piece of wood, or is it like a piece of like rope?
It looks like the traditional sort of rope wick with the wax around it. But let me see if I can show you, Eric, so you can see how this works. So I'm going to light her up. If I can do this.
Get the fire extinguisher ready,
Yeah,
Emilio.
I know. If there were ever a time for it, it's now. And I just hit it, and bada bing. Look at that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So this room is going to smell so incredibly delicious. It's going to smell like a delicious mix of whiskey and tobacco with bourbon and spice. It's basically going to be like I'm hanging out like in some really cool, like exclusive, man cave, with like mahogany walls, and everyone's wearing like really nice clothing. Like I can just see myself in a very classy space. Oh yeah. So these are incredible gifts that you all should be looking at this holiday season. It's the Zippo rechargeable candle lighter, along with their spirit candles, which let me tell you, because I'm smelling them right here dynamically real time, are so incredibly delicious. You can go to zippo.com, or you can just click the link, which is in the episode notes, which will get you directly to them. So you can purchase one for yourself, purchase one for a friend. This is the time of gift giving. So I can think of nothing better this holiday season than a Zippo candle lighter and accompanying spirit candles. Am I right?
I think you're totally right. We've talked many times about how smells can be the most sort of nostalgia bringing senses that we have.
Right.
And when you get that good smell, it really transports you. So very exciting. Thank you very much to Zippo for sending that over to us.
Boom. Well, that is the last item in our mailbag, which is timing out pretty nicely because we're about to have another guest join us here in a few minutes.